Welcome back to Overhead Athletics. Max Wardell here. I got a couple baseball players, one high school, one college, Kevin and Antonio. You've seen Antonio before in a couple videos. We're going to talk about thoracic manipulations a little bit and different body styles. So if you look at Kevin, go ahead and stand here, face that way for me. If you look at Kevin's posture, it's pretty good overall. You'll see that the majority of his kyphotic curvature comes here, and what we'll have him do is reach your hands up to the sky, and then I want you to reach back and lean back as much as you can. But where does he hinge? He hinges completely through the lumbar spine here, and he hinges maybe at that L4 junction or so, maybe a little bit higher than that. It's no real extension through the thoracic spine as he leans back. So good. Now let's have Antonio do the same thing here. And we'll talk about how this is a little bit different in terms of what we're going to do. If you look at his curvature, he has a pretty accentuated curvature throughout the majority of his spine, and he has a good amount of kyphosis even up into the upper thoracic region. Now go ahead and lean back for me. And as he goes back, you can see that he starts to extend through his spine, but he doesn't actually access a lot of motion, and he does do some hinging here through the lumbar spine. So where you saw Kevin has pretty nice standing posture, but he's predisposed to movement through that low spine, almost like a door hinge, whereas we'll see a little bit more global motion here with Antonio, but still a lot of hinging below, and maybe not as great standing static posture. So what we're going to do is apply some manipulations to the thoracic spine. We'll talk about how we do it a little differently based on these body styles. Now we have Kevin here down on the table. Remember where we saw that hinging happened at this point in his spine. So as he moves through the throw or moves through the swing or anything really athletic that he has to do overhead or with a lot of rotation, where is he going to move? He's going to move through this lumbar spine down here, not through the mid and upper back. And you see this really accentuated paraspinals here. We call this the back butt, where he's got a ton of muscle right here because he doesn't move through this area really well. So that's where we'll focus with our manipulations here. And it's never a bad idea in someone like this to actually do some manipulations up in the top, but this is really where he needs it, and we already got one there. Deep breath for me. Out. Good. So now I've hit it there, and sometimes I can pick up an extra crack or two by actually doing my karate chop grip. One more. Deep breath. And out. All the way. Good. So we've probably hit all of these through this portion of the spine. Now we'll have him stand up and hop on this side of the table here, and we'll see if we've actually improved at all just with one simple manipulation, any of his extension through this portion of the spine. Let's face this way a little bit. Okay, let's have you reach up and over. Let's see if he recruits any here. A little bit better. So over time, what we do is we strengthen his core. We continue to mobilize through this lower thoracic, mid-thoracic spine so that over time, he can actually recruit more of that thoracic extension as he moves. Important to have core strength, important to have thoracic motion and facet mobility. And with Antonio, we'll apply more of a global manipulation where this is considered a global manipulation, but with Kevin, we did it really focused on that lower thoracic region. For Antonio, where he really needs it, and you can see this big kind of curvature as he comes down, is because he's really limited into extension in the upper to mid thoracic spine. So what happens is he actually extends through his lumbar spine when he's in standing. So the most important, and I like the karate chop grip, and I can always come back and actually manipulate the other direction too, but I'm opening up these facets and putting a shear load through the disc. So big breath and relax. Good. A couple nice manipulations there. So improving this motion here over time can get him into a more erect posture through the upper back and allow him to not bias himself so much into lumbar extension as well. So go ahead and stand up for me. Just one little quick manipulation. Let's see if we can actually make a movement change here. Face that way. And let's see if just standing there maybe a little bit better already. Now let's have you reach back. Maybe a little bit more motion here. Sometimes it's tough to tell, especially with one manipulation. We continue to manipulate, mobilize through this portion of the spine. Once again, it's core strength. And then with Antonio too, it's working on his scapular retractors and periscapular muscles so he can hold himself in a better posture. So that's some of the ways we think about applying manipulations in the thoracic spine specifically. Either hit, hey, we're going to hit this portion of the spine, or be a little more selective. And at times we're more global and we just hit everything. Antonio can tell you that sometimes we've just mobilized his entire thoracic spine. There's really no contraindications for that in a healthy young athlete like this. So if you like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next week.